your dolly polly dreams have flown. Don't you dare let her tremble alone. For the witcher, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold. He'll come, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe.
Hello everyone, welcome to our second prologue of this Witcher campaign entitled Hunters Hunted. I am Simon at Wandering DM, and I'll be GMing this episode of the Witcher TTRPG. But before we go into the introduction of the cast for tonight's episode, I have a few things that I need to talk to you about. First and foremost, a big thank you to our sponsors, Artalsorian Games, that made the Witcher RPG possible. Our other sponsor, Mage Press, makers of 5th edition supplements. If you go on their website at store.mageandpress.com and use code WanderingDM, you get 15% off everything that you purchase, including the hardcover sci-fi fantasy Dark Matter, if you like your Hi, Kelly! If you like your fantasy with a little sci-fi and playing D&D in space. Our other sponsor is, of course, Found Familiar, the great coffee company, which I'm going to need to order more of. They are sponsors of the show. You can go on foundfamiliar.com, use Wandering DM to get 10% off. And if you order for $50 or more and you live in the continental United States, you get free shipping. Lastly, in our partners through the Diceomancy program is Level Up Dice. If you want to get your hands on some shiny metal dice, semi-precious stone dice, or dice made out of stone, click on the purple torch down below or in the link in chat, and it'll bring you to the Level Up Dice website. They've got a bunch of new things coming up, so be sure to check them out. And of course, every click helps the channel here. And through your help, we are able to give away a bunch of dice like we did 2 weeks ago with the Hematite chip dice. Tonight's music is going to be provided by something different in Sirenscape. Normally we do Sirenscape, but let me just share everything with my players. Hi, players. Let me know if what you hear is a little too loud for you.
That's fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So this new app called Soundtail is made, you can look them up at soundtail.de. Click on the panel down below. They've sent me a development build of their app. They basically make an app that works on your phone. That you can plug in anywhere and just have a bunch of cool soundtracks for your games. I'm gonna actually put it down a bit for me because I feel like it's getting too loud. But it's fun, there's tons of customization and all that. I'll talk about it at the end of the show. Without further ado, let's see who we have in today's episode. Let's start with the member of our main cast whose prologue it is today. Gabe, how are you? And can you tell us who are you playing?
Hi, I am Gabe. I am fantastic, and today I am playing the Elven Witcher Ovos. We shall have fun of some sort.
Which school?
I am a Witcher of the School of the Cat.
Awesome. Up next is one of our two guests for tonight, another Witcher himself, and a newcomer to the... Actually, they're both newcomers to the channel, if I'm right. I'll begin with Right next to me, to my right, JF.
Hey,
Hi.
hey, hey, it's good to be here. Looking forward to some witching action tonight. I'll be playing Dusa of Gamera. He's uh, he's actually retired, or something along those lines. He enjoys hunting far more, hunting simple things far more than hunting monsters. And I'm very excited to be playing with these two lovely witchers.
Which school is Durso from?
Dusa is a witcher of the school of the Griffin. So these are witchers that kind of specialize more in magic and combating multiple enemies at once.
Your talents might be tested.
Right.
And last but not least, another newcomer to the channel, also playing a Witcher. It's Greg.
I am super duper excited. This will be my first time playing The Witcher. So, as I try to transition from the GM side to the player side, I'm sure to forget things, but I know that I have Simon's expertise guiding me and these wonderful players that I am super duper psyched to join in the narrative with. Tonight, I will be playing Ezekon of Creve, School of the Griffin as well.
Two griffins and a cat.
I do love the taste of bird.
Oh boy.
To begin our adventure tonight, we'll transport ourselves 100 years ago. In Rivia, a small kingdom in the west of the continent. North of the Empire of Nilfgaard, west of Temeria, between Dol Blathana and the Mahakam Mountains. There is a small hamlet there by the name of Wild Apple. And they have put out a contract for a Witcher. A contract that Ovos the Witcher accepted. Prior to the events of this game, you have read about the contract in another town. Mm-hmm. A town called Rastburg. In fact, the way the contract spelled it, the citizens of Wild Apple are pretty sure that they're dealing with a foglet. They say that it hunts in fog, it creates dark mist, and then it saps people away. Just knocks them out and drags them somewhere, never to be seen again. It leaves provisions. Not horses, though. But any foodstuff, any alcohol, any object is never touched by the creature. The trouble is retrieving said things because everyone now, both in Rastburg and Wild Apple, are sort of scared. You made your way to Wild Apple, taking a small detour to make sure that you avoid the place where the creature can be found in order to find more information about it. And as the game begins, we see from the point of view of the village, who's barely waking up this morning, the small hamlet where chicken roam free in the dirt street, and peasants are barely stirring awake as the sun rises. A lone figure walks up the road. A Witcher from the cat school. What do they look like?
So Ovos has a white tattoo across the bridge of their nose. Their hair is cut short and black. There is what looks to be a cut or bite out of their left ear. There's black furs over their shoulders. And then you see that there are the two Witcher swords, but there is also a few throwing daggers on their sides. And when they walk forward, looking around slowly, carefully, not really showing very much reaction, but observing each thing that they pass with every second.
As you make your way closer to the hamlet of Wild Apple, you notice children in the distance. Those that woke up earlier than their parents run away into their homes. An armed man is approaching. A few of the older peasants side-eye you as you pass by. Some looking at you and then looking at their crops and then back at you, as if expecting their crops to suffer or rot due to the presence of a witcher. The letter didn't mention a specific place, but it did mention a person. Odir is the one that put out the contract. But there's no descriptor. No address, no description of the house where they might live. Just a simple name. Odir.
I walk up to one of the people who was looking at me thinking that their plants were to die from my presence.
They look at you up and down and they try to shirk away, but you don't seem violent. You don't draw your weapons, so...
Question.
Yes, Witcher.
Is it a human?
Yeah, they're humans.
Thank you, human. Where can I find Odir?
He points to the third house on your left. A ramshackle building made out of straw and mud. Mostly. With a few stones as the foundations. He says you can find Odir in his house. Just... we don't like violence here.
Good. And I walk towards the house.
He eyes you as you leave. Odir's house is... oh, it smells like shit.
Yeah.
It smells like human and animal poop in this place.
Animals. Oh, I also realized I didn't say. Ovos is an elven witcher.
Yes. Something even rarer.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just gonna head straight to the house. I don't like this place. These people smell disgusting, and I think the animals would be more reasonable.
A cat hisses at you and leaves.
I hiss back.
It's confused.
That's fair.
You approach Odir's house and knock on the small rickety door. You hear a voice from inside. Oh, come in, come in.
Walk in.
It's a small, one-room hovel. The table also serves as a bed, and Odir is in the process of clearing the hay from the table to make room for his meal.
Are you Odir?
A man looks at you. Blonde with a bald spot, a receding hairline, stubble, unkempt beard for the most part. He doesn't even wear a shirt, just pants. Says, oh! Another one? You here for the contract on the foglet?
Yes.
Oh, please, sit. And he points to a bench that you're probably sure won't support your weight.
I appreciate your courtesy, but my rear end is tired from sitting on a horse. I will stand.
As you wish. So, it's about the contract then.
Yes.
The DM forgot to check the price for a foglet. Give me 2 seconds. Come here. Foglet's 500 crowns. It's been, a thorn, well, more than a thorn in our sides. Actually, if you don't mind, I would pay you only upon return. With the beast's head. We hired another witcher a few days hence, and he asked for a half payment up front, and he never came back.
I wish it wasn't me. I'll take your money when I get back. That's fine. Did that witcher come back?
Never. Perhaps you know him. Dothard of Rasberg.
Does that name sound familiar?
Absolutely not. Apparently, just because you're a witcher doesn't mean that you know all witchers.
Yeah, that's rude. Yes. Poor Dothard. Well, where is this foglet been residing?
Those that ran from the attack, they said you attacked them on the road, a small clearing between Rasberg and here, right on the other side of the Yaruga. The Yaruga, by the way, being a very important river that flows between the hamlet of what is the name of that town again? Wild Apple and Rastberg.
Good, okay. Is there anything else that you can tell me before I go solve your problem?
No, I think that's pretty much all that I know. I don't, and he lowers the stone and says, I don't even know what a foglet is. I've just been told that's what it was by the survivors.
Where are the survivors?
They, built a tent on the outskirt of, the hamlet. They don't live here, so, we don't have an inn. You can talk to them if you want. It's a family. Ursult's the name of the father.
Ursult. Well, oh dear. I will go slay your foglet. And then I will return for my crowns.
All right.
I put out my hand for a handshake.
He shakes it. Like he didn't even
The contract is
hesitate.
made. Good.
Good luck, Master Witcher.
And I start walking out, and then I turn. I like you, oh dear. And then I walk out and shut the door.
All right. Meanwhile, after the last winter, where quite a few of the newer Witcher of the Griffin School have not come back to winter in Kaer Seren, concern was raised that perhaps these younger Witchers had decided to forsake the path, or perhaps something happened to them. As we all know, the trials is something very difficult that not a lot of people survive. Every Witcher is important. Every Witcher counts. Following rumors that a person in Rivia made about being a Witcher killer showed up with a collection of medallions, many of which were griffins. Two Witchers set out from Kaer Seren. One young and one old. Dare I say, a rookie and an elder. They are making their way to Rastburg, a city in Rivia. A fortified place with a keep and all that kind of important settlement that important people live in. And the source of where the rumors came from. As they enter through the gate of the city, I would like for JF and Greg to describe their characters. What do we see entering the city of Rastburg?
Let Greg start.
With Ezekon of Creve, you would see, we talked about this before, but Witchers tend not to grow old. They tend not to get gray unless you are a particular ilk that can withstand augmented mutations. But Ezekon would carry the salt and pepper hair, the graying visage of somebody that is passing into and perhaps beyond middle age. And his body remains strong, broad of shoulder, stands about 6'1", 6'2". The double twin swords of the Witcher displayed over the shoulder. This a time 100 years in the past where the thinking of the present isn't necessarily damnation for the Witchers. And so he would enter into the town, not proudly, not arrogantly, but not hiding who he is, and certainly not ashamed of it.
Mm-hmm. And Dusa of Gamera, he's a towering, muscle-bound man with a stern expression, dark skin. He looks like he could be in his late 20s, so a bit younger than Ezekon, just in appearance, though. And like most Witchers, he looks as if he has had a hard life. He has no visible scars, just a few scratches, but he looks weather-beaten. He wears his hair in locks and has a neatly trimmed beard. Despite the fact that he seems weather-beaten, he's vigorous and in good shape. He wears a Lyrian leather jacket and trousers, so he's a bit stiff on his horse. And he wears the accoutrements of a Witcher. So dark clothing. And he has an elk fur cloak, and he holds a bow in his hand.
That is different from most Witcher that we see. In fact, Rastburg isn't used to seeing Witchers. There was one a few years ago, a white-haired person came by, but didn't really stay. Having two Witchers in the same place, you are met with both awe and disgust by the population. You remember those rumors about this Witcher killer. This man who boasted about having Witcher medallions, but as you enter Rasberg, you don't see anyone trying to track you down. With your heightened senses, you don't spy anyone in the shadows trying to either get the drop on you or fire a crossbow from a hidden location. In fact, your medallions don't even vibrate. If this Witcher hunter was anything magical or anyone with magical powers, you would have known. Instead, you end up in a small fortified town. Dare I say, everything is quiet.
Normal.
What do you do?
Take a look around, I guess. Things seems quiet here, Zakon. What do you think?
Well, I think we need to. What do you think, Dusa? Should we follow our guts, or what exactly are we looking for here? A killer in the open? A hunter? Or
A rumor?
A rumor?
A rumor monger? I don't know.
A ghost?
Ghost. I don't know. There doesn't seem to be much going on around here. Maybe catch somebody who's walking by. Anybody walking here?
Yeah, there's a few. You notice there's a pumpkin merchant dragging his cart along the street. He entered the town a few minutes, like trailing behind you. He's just passing you as you go along, and he's stopped by a woman carrying a babe in her arms who begins arguing about prices of pumpkins and stuff. But there's something that attracts your eye. The babe is wearing a wolf's head medallion made out of silver. That is way too large for a baby's necklace.
Oh, wow. Look at that. I'll walk over and maybe help this guy with his cart. That's what Dusa will do.
As you approach the man, he takes a step back and looks at you up and down and says, "You here for the pumpkins?"
I just wanted to help.
Oh. He looks at the size of your arms, then at the size of his. He's like, "By all means, Master Witcher. I don't have coins to pay you for this, but I'm bound for the market square."
And who's this lady? This fine lady here?
She looks at you, a little miffed that you interrupted her argument with the man, but says, "My name's Anna. And if you wouldn't mind, I'm busy. I have purchases to make."
That's fine. I mean, did you give birth to that baby with the medallion?
Ezekon will step forward at this point and say, what my friend means to say is it's a lovely medallion. He would kneel down to get into the babe's kind of line of vision, pull out his own medallion and kind of move it back and forth. It's beautiful. It's
fine work.
Very fine work.
She clutches the baby closer to her and says, "Well, if you bear the same medallions, then you're not gonna steal mine. My husband got it for me. Well, for the babe."
And why is that?
There's a traveler by the name of Wolfgar, a man from Skellige. He spends his time in the tavern and sells these baubles so he can play more Gwent. I'm not selling mine. It was a gift. If you want more, you can speak to Wolfgar, but..." And she looks at both of you and your swords. "And you're not taking my baby to one of your Witcher places. He's mine, you hear?"
Of course not.
I dream of it. But You say Wolfgar's at this tavern?
Aye.
Does the tavern have a name?
Oh, the Drunken Pheasant.
Well, then get ready to get your money back.
Oh. Why? Are you gonna kill him?
I'm gonna get that coin that you gave him, that your husband gave him for that amulet. And I'll bring that coin back to you, and we'll have a talk.
Ezekon would get up and kind of shoulder back away to everybody else and move towards the ear of Dusa. We're getting involved in some additional things that we really don't need to get involved with. Maybe just we can thank them for their information.
I can't leave. We can't let people go around with Witcher medallions. We have no business with those.
And he would smile a bit. It's School of the Wolf. It's not like they really earn those.
All right. Well, I'll defer to you and say, all right. Give that medallion a dark look.
The baby begins to cry, as if it's
a medallion.
Yeah. No, but the baby senses the tensing of the situation.
It's not fit for a baby, that thing. I'll say as she leaves.
You make your way to the tavern, the Drunken Pheasant. And let me just switch this real quick. This is not a creepy tavern.
Oh,
I don't think so.
okay.
That sounds better.
Festive.
You make your way into the Drunken Pheasant. There is actually, at the moment, a pair of minstrels playing. One on a violin and one strumming a lute. They're entertaining the dozen of patrons here. A man from Skellige is easy to find. This lumbering brute of a sailor with a full black beard with spotches of white in it. A huge scar going across his face. His hair tied in a ponytail. He's wearing furs despite the weather outside and the heat. And he's in the midst of losing a Gwent game against the dwarf. Otherwise, other patrons are, being occupied by their conversations and their drink. The tavern keeper, a middle-aged woman, nods as you approach. And says, weapons at the counter, please.
Of course. And it's going to be quite a lot of weapons. So, one hand axe, two hand axes, two swords, a bow, and a dagger.
Her eyes grow wider and wider as you leave more and more implements of death on the counter.
Yeah, that's almost everything I tell her.
Well, you're carrying a veritable army with you. This is almost the entire Rasberg armory.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
And she just takes your bundle of equipment and puts it in a barrel next to her. You notice that the barrel was already occupied by a two-handed axe, a few cudgels, and at the bottom of which, if you're tall enough to see, there's a dagger. So it doesn't seem like the peasantry here is armed, or that any of the patrons here are actually, professional warriors.
I'll step aside.
Ezekon would take off his 2 scabbard rig and place it on the bar. Sorry, that's it.
Huh. As long as you know how to use them. And she puts them in the barrel.
There is that long sigh at the comment, but no further quip.
All right. Before you approach the Skellige men, we're going to go back to Wild Apple. Ovos.
Yes.
You make your way down the street to a hastily pitched tent. There are 3 people sitting around a small campfire. They're trying to boil water. Definitely, they do not seem to know how to make a campfire, how to build one properly. The entire structure keeps falling, and the fire almost goes out every once in a while. The father is swearing at the fire and trying to get it to stay.
So is it the wood is there? It's just not sitting well, right?
Yeah. It's, well, do you have any points in, like, survival or something like that?
Let's see.
Or even alchemy?
Where is? Oh, I have 4 points in wilderness survival.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they've used twigs and small branches. There's no actual log. The twigs burn out much too fast. It's at this rate, their fire will go out. Even if it stays up, it's going to go out within 5 minutes. You are not going to boil water with that.
Can I go get logs? Just like a couple.
Absolutely.
I'll even talk to them. I'm just gonna go get logs and bring them back to them. And without even saying anything to them, put my logs on top of their sticks, and then, if possible, I'd like to cast Igni.
The husband is about to protest when the wife just puts a hand on his shoulder and looks at you and says, "Let the strong man do what he needs to do. He's obviously much better equipped than you are at this."
Yep.
The child jumps in surprise when you cast Igni. Mama, magic, magic! And the mom clutches her closer. Says, "Yes, it seems we have a true sorcerer gracing us with their presence. An
Witcher.
elf, no... Oh. An elf witcher? I didn't know they made elf witchers."
Usually they don't.
Well, we thank you.
Are you the ones that survived the foglet?
The husband immediately begins talking. Yes. Yes, it's us.
Tell me everything that you know. I am on a hunt.
Yeah. So said the other one that came by a couple of days ago, too.
Yes, but the other one is a fool. And as you said, you didn't know they made elven witches. I'm special.
When you say special, he looks at his wife and then looks back at you. Says, "Yeah, well, everyone's special in their own way."
Look, I lit your fire so you don't starve or freeze, and I'm trying to hunt a beast that almost killed you. Are you amenable or not?
Yes, my apologies. We were set upon by smoke. It spooked the horses. They toppled the carriage over. We fell into the mud. We barely made it out of the fog as we heard something dining on the horses. And then a hoarse voice says that we were next. I still dream of that voice, Master Witcher.
Then I will kill your dream.
Yeah, please. The other Witcher said we were facing a foglet, and a cunning one at that. I don't know what a foglet is, but it looks dangerous.
Wolves are dangerous. This is a wolf that thinks it's a lion. It will die. as do all things. Do you know where exactly to find it?
It was a strange place. We thought we had entered the territory of some druid or a witch in the woods. There were things hung on the trees. You can't miss them. Necklaces, like yours.
They were Witcher necklaces.
I didn't get near enough to see, and then the fog enveloped everything. But I swear I'm fairly certain I saw one of them cat's heads on one of the medallions.
Interesting. And at that point, Ovos probably stands taller and straighter and like instinctively reaches towards one of his weapons, but instead like goes to like scratch his leg and tries to play it off. Interesting. Well, it sounds like I truly have a hunt in front of me. Do you, never mind. Is that all you can tell me then? Should I be on my way?
That's all that I know. I'm not a hunter, I'm a merchant by trade. Very bankrupt one at that now. If you can retrieve my wares, it would be very, very nice of you.
I'll look into it.
Thank you. And if you end up killing the beast, and you don't find my wares, just let me know. I'll go look into that clearing myself.
Noted. Also, if you need to keep the fire going, you need bigger logs, more like this. And then I'll point where I found them. The smaller sticks are good for slight increases, but they will not keep.
I thank you. Normally we have our... And you see he goes white. And just says, yeah, thank you. And he takes a step back and just seems to be very interested in the fire.
Normally you have your what?
An elf that works for us. Right, dear? And she's like, yes, he works for us.
Why did you look up when you said works?
He is working out a debt with us. It's nothing to be concerned about. We treat him well. He is sheltered and fed, clothed, but he murdered my brother. The alderman decided that his...
That is not my business. That is yours.
He seems relieved.
I am, some would say, more witcher than elf.
We didn't mean anything by it.
Oh, I am not offended. You have given me what I need, and the business you have with your worker is your own. Should I be looking for them at all? Is that...
They weren't with us. They stayed home. They're watching over our estate.
Estate. Well, do try to stay out of trouble while I go kill this dream of yours.
Just be as fast as you can, Master Witcher. This hovel is not a place to keep our daughter too long.
Oh, don't worry. Cats are very fast. And it's probably like an uncomforting smile.
Mm-hmm. The man audibly gulps and nods. But you see that he's shifting slightly to put himself between you and the rest of his family.
You have nothing to worry from me. I am but a monster hunter. And you are no monster. And then I walk away.
Alright, you make your way to the clearing, and we'll fade the camera back into our tavern. What's happening?
Well, now that we've left our weapons, I'm gonna take a look at this. So that guy's playing Gwent.
Gwent, yeah.
Gwent, sorry.
A card game.
Yeah. With a dwarf.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll make our way to. I'll do so. We'll head for his table. And wait for him to notice.
He plays another round, well, another turn, and looks at you from the corner of his eyes. And he waits until his turn is over. And then he looks up. You're kind of bothering me.
Really?
I'm in the middle of something.
I was wondering if we could join your game.
The dwarf looks at you and says, "Hey, I'm fleecing him of all his money. If you want his gold, you're gonna have to wait after I'm done. Unless you want to come lose to me, then you're welcome at the table."
I'll look to Ezekon and say,
Ezekon's back at the bar.
"Oh, he's back. He didn't come over. He thinks so." I look over. I look next to me, and he's not there. Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe maybe I don't have time to wait for this game to be over. Maybe I have to talk to something. I just have to talk about something quite urgently.
Simon, while this is going on, just real quick.
Yeah.
What is the rest of the population of the bar like? Is it packed? Is it loosely populated? Is it
Loosely populated. There's about a dozen patrons. We're still in the middle of the day. You notice that the most packed corner would be a large circular table that is currently housing 5 people. Then otherwise, there's no one sitting at the bar itself. But there are 2 or 3 tables where only one person is sitting, drinking in their mugs. And then there's the table with the dwarf and the Skellige men playing cards.
he would like to engage the bartender as a con. As this is all going on kind of over his shoulder, he would just, so how's business been? Is it profitable? Is it steady?
We do what we can. What with, well, Queen... Oh, God. It's Queen Maeve, right? 2 seconds.
You can say whatever you want and I'll agree.
Yeah. Yeah, but for the hardcore fans in the audience,
The sticklers. Okay,
the
fine.
sticklers, there we go. So, yeah, I think it's not Queen Maeve at this time. Well, whatever. What's with the Queen's new, or the King's new orders, and the new taxes, I should say, not orders, but the new taxes. Things are changing. That's all I can say. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? I don't know, but for now, my business is suffering.
He'll pull out a fair stack of maybe 5 crowns and sit him on the bar on the edge close to her, where it would traditionally be kind of like the tip area. But he's going to keep his finger on top of them. My friend is talking to the Gwent enthusiast over there, and I just wanted to know, have you seen that person buying anything off another individual, or anything that might look like this? And he indicates the griffin necklace.
No, but I hear he sells them.
Gets them himself, makes them.
I think he might make them himself. He just came into town it's gone a few days ago, and he had a handful of them. Been selling them for quite a lofty sum. And she looks at the gold coins you've put on the counter and says, "You're not gonna go far with this. You'd need much more."
He would double the stack. Did he come into town by himself?
Oh no, I meant if you wanted to buy the medallions.
I know what you meant.
Oh, all right. She blushes a bit. He came in town by himself. He was armed with this, and she points the two-handed axe. Looks more like a lumber axe than anything, but it is, from what you can see, the head has been sharpened, and it's nicked enough that it has seen combat a few times. And she says he even had one of them mail coats when he arrived, but that's all up in his room at the moment.
Staying here, is he?
He's been living here. He pays well. One medallion gave him about a week's stay, so... Mind you, now he's losing all of his coins and Gwent. He's probably going to have to sell his last 2 medallions, and then either he's going to have to find a jewel maker, or... Actually, I really don't know how he makes those medallions.
Did he pay you with one of them? You said it bought a week's worth.
Only in crowns. No,
Okay.
I'm not one for jewelry. Also, silver tends to tarnish my skin.
He'll keep his fingers on the crowns, and I'll let... This is all happening up until
Yeah.
Deuce's exchange, so I didn't want to interrupt. I just want to set something up in case something happens.
All right, so back to Dusa.
Possibly happen. Yeah.
What could happen?
I just want to make a small point. Dusa is a Gamerian. Gamerian. Some people say Gamerian, some people say Gamerian. I go with Gamerian. So they have a reputation on the continent.
Yeah, they're hot-blooded, if I remember right.
Yeah, they're known to be mad dogs and a bit sadistic. So, which gives them a +1 to intimidation.
You know what? Make a reputation test.
A reputation test? Holy crap.
Yeah,
I've never done that.
To see if he's heard of you. I don't know if you have reputation.
Let's see. I have about 50 years. I don't have it set up. That's not something we've set up yet.
Okay, then I would say just roll a d10.
Okay.
And add your let's say, to make sure that he knows who you are. Add a +2, a d10 +2. If you get a 6 or higher.
Yeah, it's a 9 + 2. That's 11.
All right. He looks at you and smiles and says, "Well, you're from the south, aren't you?"
Yes. How could you tell?
Can smell it on your breath.
Really? You got a fine nose.
What do you want with me?
I was hoping I could get a medallion.
His demeanor changes completely. He says, "Oh, for business. Well, you should have said so earlier. Grab yourself a chair, my friend."
I'll sit down and clap him on the back. Order an ale.
The barmaid excuses herself to Ezekon and brings you a mug of ale. Illyrian stout.
Oh, goody. My favorite. So, what do you got?
He opens up his fur vest and fiddles in an inside pocket and fetches 2 medallions.
Ooh.
One in the shape of a strange cat. Looks like a cross between a cat and a lion. You recognize it as being from the Manticore school. One that is beyond the Blue Mountains.
Wow.
You've heard of that school through the books that you've read in Kersaren, but you've never encountered a Witcher from that place. They normally don't make their way west, sorry.
So it's probably the first time I see one of these, so
Yeah, and it looks
eyes will
old.
widen a bit.
It is tarnished and scratched. Like it's seen some action. Definitely.
And I guess the main preoccupation right now, the main concern of Dusa is to figure out if these are fakes or real. So now that it looks scratched, it sounds like it's real. But is there any way for...
Yep, I'll just describe the other one.
Okay.
It's exactly as yours.
Simon, as soon as the barmaid walks off, can I cast a sign to see if the medallions begin to hum?
Do you want to do it subtly, or you don't care if people see you?
Well, I figure if I can do it, like if I can do Axie, not Axie, yeah, if I can do Axie, just you know, like you said, there's nobody at the bar, so maybe as she passes by, or as anybody leaves the area, just hit them with Axie, just to make them feel more comfortable with their decision to leave the bar. You know, just to not to re-engineer somebody's train of thought, but to augment it.
Okay.
So if somebody's taking a seat, yeah, you really want you feel exhausted. You know, that type of.
Someone at the table with 5 people suddenly gets up and says, "Excuse me, gents, I really need to piss." And he leaves. With a sudden bigger urge as you cast Axie, Dusa, you look at the medallions as he produces them from his pocket, and they start shaking and humming.
Oh, yeah,
It's
just
like-
as I was...
And yours too. He says, "Oh, they've never done that before. I
Take a look around. Yeah. All right. I'm not sure he figured it out, but I guess he... If he crossed his eyes with Ezekon, he'll know. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you see Ezekon probably has a wry smile on his face or something.
They never did that before, eh?
No, they're just shiny baubles.
Really? Well, before I buy them, I'd really like to know how you came upon them.
You think I stole them? That it?
No. It's just, it'll affect the price.
Make an intimidation check.
All right, finally. Where is my intimidation? Oh, it's empathy. Yes.
Under will.
Under will. So I have a +1 on account of being the grammarian that I am. Let's do this. That's 14.
So a D10 plus 14?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's
Wait,
it's your will plus your intimidation plus 1.
Yeah, he rolled it over on the other.
Oh, okay. And it's a total of 14. All right.
Yeah.
Let me just see what this person rolls. He says, There's this place nearby. I swear I got him. He looks at your medallion and then at the one he took from his pocket and says, yeah, I see the resemblance now. He slides them on the table. He's like, I don't want no trouble with you or your ilk.
All right.
You'll find
Just
a
tell me-
clearing between here and Wild Apple. Small shit hamlet. They're hung up on trees.
They're hung up on trees.
I think there's a witch. I heard cackling when I went by. I just thought it's silver. Can sell for a couple of crowns. Sorry. A couple of crowns.
Yeah. Those are richer medallions.
I swear I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody will come after you. On one condition, though, and you'd probably have to get the ones that you sold. You'd have to get those back. I'll pay you for those as well. Just tell them what they are and what the risk is of wearing one.
I sold 3 so far. I can probably trace them back. But I need to
Okay.
warn you. I sold them for 100 crowns each.
All right. Well, get them back and... Well, let's see. Hold on. Why don't you hold on just a minute? Let me confer with my traveling companion. And I'll walk over to Isaac Khan with the medallions hanging from his hand.
Yeah.
And a frown. So, apparently there's more where these came from.
Did you find out where?
On a tree in a clearing. Somewhere near Apple Tree.
And no one's dead.
Not yet.
Progress.
Mm-hmm. He sold 3 more. And feel kind of bad just taking them from him since he sold them already. I was thinking of giving him some kind of money for it. He's asking for a lot, though.
Well, how sneaky do you want to be?
I see. 'Cause I don't figure we have 300 crowns, do we? No. Hell no.
I mean, if just in case, because I know your character, once the game has started, whatever, you have the money that you have.
Yeah.
But let's see, for a Witcher, like for 2 Witchers, the 2 of you together would have 500 crowns at this point.
Nice. Well, there you go. Okay. Yeah. I'm okay with,
I'm not.
with paying for them. Oh, with parting with that gold?
No. Again, as a con would say, how sneaky do you want to be? Are we protecting this merchant, or are we protecting ourselves?
What do you mean by that?
I overheard him say that they had never done that before. Vibrated,
Right.
reacted to magic. Well, we just saw the babe with one around its neck. I figure this place is relatively small. If we could figure out who he gave them to, all we have to do is get pretty close and cast a few signs. They'll throw them out a window. Spread the word that they're cursed. It's a lot cheaper than 300 crowns.
All right.
But I'm not that sneaky.
we definitely have to get those back somehow. Go back to the guy. I'll say, listen, get them back. Well, actually, just let me know who you gave them to. I'll take care of the rest.
I don't know their names, but there was one man who said he'd buy it for his wife, and the blacksmith got one to himself, and there's a merchant who was on his way to Wild Apple. He got one.
Okay, so that's 2 that are in this village, right?
Yeah.
And how much money do you have left from that sale that you made? Those sales.
Only 50 gold crowns left. And the dwarf says, "Ha! Not for long."
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to get the details of where those people are in the village.
Mm-hmm.
And tell them to have a nice game.
He looks visibly relieved that you did not start any kind of fight.
Yeah.
He measured his chances looking at you, and he was fairly sure he would not win.
Yeah. Hey, well, yeah, definitely Dusa is restraining himself, and that's visible. He'll tell him, I don't want you to talk about this to anyone.
No, sir.
That goes for your friend as well. And he'll toss a coin on their table so they can have a drink.
All right.
Simon, is there any way that I could use the bartender to see if she knows the people that these were sold to? I mean, we just met the person that bought the one that was around the baby's necklace, or the baby's neck. Is there a way that she might know the town better and be able to get the word out, just, to convince her that we're here because we believe they're cursed, and we're trying to just collect them back so the people that are wearing them don't turn into hideous beasts?
Oh, I would say that is an excellent use of the... let's see. If you were a bard, you would have, like, the exact ability for it. But in this case, we're going to go with... Let's go with deceit. Just make a deceit check for me, please.
Okay. I am not deceitful. So I am going to can I use some luck here?
Yes, of course.
Okay, let's go ahead and do 2 luck here before I bust this out. This is not going to go well, but we'll see. So this will be +2. I'm just not going to put it. Oh, God's sakes. Never mind.
So as you spin your story about the medallions being cursed and everything, she says, "Look, I know you probably collect these trinkets or something. I see the one that's on your neck. They probably have some sort of value to you witchers. If you want them back, you can buy them back from the people that purchased them. But don't go about trying to spin stories about curses. You're gonna scare everyone, and... well, fear leads to very bad things around here."
He won't agree or disagree, but as he would turn back to Dusa, he would just shrug. See, not that sneaky.
Yeah. Oh, can always do it the other way. So I guess before we leave, we're gonna go get those.
Medallions.
Yeah.
Do you, and we'll gloss over that part,
Yeah.
but do you buy them back, or do you try to persuade the people into handing them over? Persuade the people into handing them over.
I guess we could do both. I guess we could start with the persuasion. No, I'm sorry, with the buying, but at a reduced price, trying to convince them that they're cursed and all that. Trying to convince them that they have no business having those, and the witchers will just keep showing up if they keep them.
Ezekon will buy them if they're, was it 200 to get the 2 in the village?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we could get a better price.
Well, first he's going to ask how much they paid for them, because there is no way it was 100 crowns each.
You do learn that they were sold for 75 crowns each.
He'll pay him for that then, and especially regardless of what school they're from, Ezekon feels a kinship to all witchers, regardless of academy in which they trained.
Mm-hmm. It's the blacksmith had a bear, and the lady, well, you saw her earlier, she had the wolf.
Yeah, he'll get both of those.
Well, I'll look to Ezekon. There's something out there collecting medallions. It's got this many. It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's got 150 crowns.
Where do you make your way to after that?
Wow.
In between here and a shithole town called Wild Apple.
All right,
Is what
yeah.
the exact map said.
You head out of Rastburg and take the north path that is supposed to cross the Yaruga, and then head into Wild Apple. Between Rastburg and Wild Apple, right next to the river, there's a part of the land where the river floods basically every year. It creates this marshland that is somewhat dry at this time of year. But as you leave, both Ovos leaving Wild Apple and Ezekon and Dusa leaving Rastburg, rain begins to pour. And it's under the rain that the three of you meet, both at opposite end of a clearing. There's this fork in the path. Ovos coming from one side, Ezekon and Dusa from the other. The trees around you are bare of leaves. Not because, well, probably because they're dead, but because it's not fall yet. All around you.
It's like spring.
Yeah. On these, on the branches of these trees are wrapped almost 50 medallions. They look like Christmas ornaments would look to us out of game.
50.
Shining in the light. Swaying in the breeze. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Ah.
We'll be back, everyone, in about 5 minutes. Or just going to go grab drinks and all that. And we will be right back. Stick around.
Don't you dare let her tremble alone, for the witcher, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold. He'll come, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe.
And we are back, everyone. During break, someone subscribed. So, because someone subscribed, we're going to draw a card from the Gwent deck. JF, would you mind rolling a d25?
G25, sure
Yes.
thing. Here it comes. To roll 1D. I don't usually roll these D25s.
Yeah, it's weird, but I have 25 cards.
Interesting. 11.
11. The 11th card. Oh, no.
What?
It's Jixtra.
That sounds good.
Yes.
It's not.
Jixtra means that the DM gets to foil the character's plan. So
Oh, yeah?
once during the session today, I get to meta against you one time.
Have at it. I'm not scared.
And that's what Jixtra does. So of course some of the cards are beneficial, some of the cards are not beneficial, some affect the whole campaign, others affect just the session. If you look down below in the panels, you'll see everything about the donations. We also have all of the ingredients for potions and everything on the right hand side on the overlay, so if you want to donate to give more loot to the... Oh, someone else subscribed!
Nice.
Well then!
There we go. We need to counteract that bad fucking draw.
Greg, do you want to roll a d25 for me, please?
Sure, let me roll a double 11 for you. A 1.
A 1?
Yeah. Doesn't sound good. But it'd be good.
It is good.
Okay. It was 1.
I just need to move... Dijkstra, move your fat butt away from here. The new card is called Assassinate.
Oh. That doesn't sound good.
Assassinate. Everyone deals double damage post armor. That includes me. So any damage that bypasses armor during the game today is then doubled.
It's time for Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Are we aware? Are the players aware? Are the characters aware?
The characters aren't aware, but the players are, and you're allowed to play using...
Okay, well, no more subscriptions, please.
Well, right now, I mean, Assassinate is good for everyone. Jixtra is good for me.
It's going to speed things up quite a bit, yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
There's about an hour left. We'll see what gives. So, we're in this clearing. Let me change the music. We'll go with something tense. In a swamp. Something creepy. How about that? So the three of you meet up on opposite sides of the clearing. You notice, Ovos, 2 other Witchers coming up about 30 yards away from you. Same thing for Dusa and Ezekon. You notice another Witcher coming up from the opposite direction, staring at the medallions, looking at you as well. There's, aside from the sound of a few toads and frogs, nothing else.
Ezekon would turn his horse in greeting just to make sure that there's no outward sign of aggression.
there's like when a cat looks like it's ready to pounce, that look in his eyes, and then it slowly subsides. And it's almost like a hello, other witches. Are you here for the foglet as well?
It's all you, my friend.
There's rumors of a foglet in this area that has popped out and somehow apparently done all of this.
Yeah, you can see Dusa is just looking at all of that in shock. And a bit of dismay.
And then you hear the fluttering of wings. Rapid. Small. Make a stealth check.
All right.
Do you have a horse?
Do I have a what?
Do you have a horse? Actually, who has a horse here?
I didn't bring a horse.
Just Ezekon?
I lied about the whole horse thing because I didn't want to sit.
I have a horse.
All right. I'm going to ask those on horses to make animal handling checks.
Right.
Wait, where's animal handling again?
Like ride?
Yeah, ride. What am I saying?
Right.
You
That
can
should
make
be
a
in
ride test.
And then a
dexterity.
stealth for me.
Yes. The test...
Reflexes?
You need to beat a
Right.
26.
We need to beat a 26.
Yeah.
All of us.
You can spend luck after the fact. Well, 26 is for the ride,
Okay.
because your horses get spooked.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know how much luck I'm going to put into this. Let's see.
Well, oh, Gabe.
I'll see after the fact, yeah.
Okay. Gabe, you can click on the
I'm not putting
critical
any
button.
luck there. It's not going to help.
Since you rolled a 10, Gabe, you can click critical on your sheet.
I rolled a 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is critical?
It's kind of a bit too distracted by those medallions.
I'll
It's
spend the 3 luck.
all right. Gabe, on your sheet, it's next to your empathy skills. There's like quick roll buttons, and there's one that says crit or fumble.
Ah, I see it. That's a 4, so a
29. Ezekon's horse rears and neighs, and you manage to calm it down. However, Dusa, your horse panics, throws you off, and runs off in the direction of Rasberg. As it does so, wisps of black smoke begin to rise from the ground, like a great fire was burning underground. And the fluttering of wings again. It's as a voice comes out of nowhere and says,
Ooh.
3 for 1.
Oh, gosh. Draw that sword now. Draw that silver sword. And rise and...
Ezekon will get off his and slap his horse too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm gonna get that horse out of here.
I'm going to get back to back then with Ezekon and sweep the trees, take a look around.
Ovos, do you make your presence known to the Witchers?
No.
Okay.
So that Witcher that we saw is now...
Disappeared.
He's gone. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said 3, I meant 2. I forgot to roll perception first.
That's fine. I'm gonna pull out one of my silver throwing knives.
All right. The fog begins to fill the area, the entire clearing. For all intents and purposes, right now you cannot see past 4 meters in front of you.
Huh.
And then the fluttering of wings stops. and you hear a thud thud in the mud.
I'm going to cast Jordan and slam it down so I can bring up around Dusa and myself, bring up the area of, spatial materialization, whatever that thing is.
And Dusa will activate a shield, an active shield around him and Ezekon, since they're back to back. If that's possible.
Yes, the active shield is. I'll
put it up.
Yeah, well, it's you'll put it up on your own. Roll 20.
Sorry.
So I have to check it in the book.
Yeah,
but it's not going to take long.
It's one of those intricate signs that only the Griffins can do.
You're the first Witcher in all of my campaigns that actually used like the enhanced version of the spells.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Glowing shield around you.
Yeah, active shield.
Okay.
Shield, 10 hit points for every stamina point spent. So I'm going to spend a total of 4.
All right.
You'll see sweat break out on his brow as he concentrates on this.
Ovos, can you make a an awareness check?
No.
Actually, everyone can make awareness.
Awareness, okay.
15.
I got a 15 as well.
22 for Ezekon.
You might actually be lucky. Oh shit, you are lucky. What the 21 minus 9, that's 12. You all hear it. The tap of feet running past Ovos. Right in your direction, Ezekon and Dusa. And then out of the thick black fog, a clawed hand with desiccated skin attached to it just claws at your Quen twice. Does it? Well, active shield without destroying the shield first. Okay, so I don't just deal damage to the shield.
That's right.
As usual. Okay.
Beat on the shield.
It's gonna make all of its attacks on the shield.
Oh, really? Put another person into it if you're pressed together.
The shield is gonna take 48 points of damage.
How much?
48?
That's
48?
a lot.
So after 40, it's gone.
48's a lot of damage.
Expended. It is.
It's a good bit. It's a healthy amount.
It's all of its attacks, though. Like,
So,
because
yeah.
the shield doesn't dodge or doesn't do anything.
Oh, out of curiosity, how many attacks are we looking at?
2.
And this is the only thing that we see and hear in this area.
So it's dropped. What happens when it's dropped or expended is anything adjacent to me is pushed back 2 meters and takes 1d6 damage to the torso.
Oh.
That's right.
Which would be doubled because of assassinate.
Yes. So, well, after its armor. So,
Right.
It doesn't have armor. What's your damage?
Let's see. So it's 1d6 damage. Okay. It's going back 2 meters.
Uh-huh.
And it's just 1d6, so I'll roll that. And that's a 6.
It breaks your shield with the strength of its claws, and for some reason, the music doesn't want to play.
Now, the only way it would not be pushed back is if it weighs more than 226 kilos.
Uh, 226 kilos?
Yeah. If it's heavier than that, it's not pushed back, but it still takes damage.
That's
If it's heavier
weird,
than
but
that, I'm running.
I actually need to check.
498 pounds. If you needed the conversion.
Oh yeah, it's no. My thing is in kilogram anyway.
Okay.
Because Polish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It weighs.
226.
Nah, it's pushed back. It's pushed back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go
it
back.
normally weighs around 300 pounds. So.
So it's like kind of pushed 2 meters. I guess it's pushed into the fog. I don't know.
Yep. Actually, you saw those two claws come at you, break the Quen shield, and then as the shield breaks, it's sent back. You see in an instant this face, humanoid looking, albeit bigger, distorted. Its ears pointed like an elf, but its nose scrunched up like it had been cut. And is just a hole in the center of his face. It bares its fangs at you
Okay.
and retreats back into the fog.
So Witcher training.
You can make a Witcher training check if you want to.
I'm gonna look at Ezekon and try some of my little Witcher training here. It's a critical. That's a 15. I'm gonna go on my critical. Man, that's a 24 on the Witcher training.
25 for Ezekon.
Ovos, you can try, but you only have the noise to go for.
Okay. Where I don't see the Witcher training thing on my sheet.
It's your professional ability.
It's under
It's a profession skills.
Yeah.
That makes much more sense. Okay. Yep. Let's see. 14. I don't know what the hell this is. I just need it dead.
Ezekon and Dusa, you're not facing a foglet. You're facing a vampire.
I knew this shit. God.
Ah, fuck.
I knew it!
You're facing not the best type of vampire. This is not a higher vampire. But it's not a higher vampire like capital higher vampire. It is a type of higher vampire called a Mula.
Uh-huh.
You, with your check, can both ask me 2 questions regarding this monster, and I will answer truthfully.
Well, I'll let Ezekon go first.
Resistances.
Resistances. It, of course, vulnerable to silver. It resists steel. It also is resistant to magic.
Oh boy.
But otherwise, that is all.
JF.
And the next question would have to be vulnerabilities.
You know that Moondust would negate its regenerative abilities, also hinders is invisibility.
So it can become invisible.
Yes. Also, black blood, if you drink it, and well, right now I don't think you have time to brew some black blood and get bit. And then, of course,
I see.
yeah, and of course, it's vulnerable to vampire oil.
Ah, boy. Okay, none of which we have. All right. All right. We'll look at Ezekon and let him know we're just gonna have to hack it down. Unless you got what was it? Moondust?
Nope. No black blood either.
I guess we both give each other knowing looks about this creature since we both.
Yeah, I'd like to think we're both back to back and we're just like,
Oh man. All right. So we going for initiative or?
Yeah. I think it's a good time to roll for initiative.
Okay. You want it, you got it. 15.
Actually, I don't know why I'm making you roll for initiative.
Why?
17.
Because it's... Oh, well, no, you
it's
might...
always first or what?
No, well, you might actually play before him with the initiatives that you have. I have a 19.
Uh-huh.
So against an 18, a 17, and what was your initiative, Dusa?
15.
15. So yeah, it's still going to play first.
That also lets us gauge where we are, at least, then.
Yeah. As it retreats into the fog, it says, I cannot wait to add you to my collection. And
That's quite the collection.
you believe to be the ultimate hunters. How does it feel to fear?
I'll let you know when I'm scared.
And because it doesn't see Ovo still, because apparently it's a blind vampire, even I go for the one who cast the shield odd, I'll go for